Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Hunter here, and I'm doing another time-lapse drawing video. The first one was really fun, and drawing is something I do anyway, so why not record it and have something to show for it at the end? It's really cool to see the process and to see something that looks like utter garbage that should never have existed turn into something that is not garbage and maybe should exist in the world. That's always an amazing thing for me to see because I spend a lot of hours, and when you spend so long on an art piece like this, you don't notice all of those teeny tiny changes. You kind of get lost in the flow of things, and when you're done, you're like, I guess it's done. I'm so done. I'm ready for it to be done. So it's just cool to kind of see that work, kind of fast forwarded through. But this particular character that I'm drawing is another one that I've been kind of working on, similar to the first. But she is a part of a very unique story and one that I'm quite proud of. So it's called the Blacklight Protocol. And if you've watched any of my other videos, if you kind of stay around for the outro, you'll notice that at the end, I have a little card that says, hey, go check out this YouTube channel, called the Blacklight Protocol, right? So what I wanted to do, because this is a character for the protocol, I wanted to kind of explain to you guys what it is and kind of what it's about, and maybe you'll go check it out. So the Blacklight Protocol is a really cool idea, at least to me, and it is a fictional podcast. So it is fiction. I write the episodes, and I have a very good friend of mine named Nick who narrates these episodes. And what it is about is it's about a character named Reed McCallan, who is receiving people's paranormal or ghostly encounters. And he's receiving these, and he is reading those out on a podcast, or on a podcast platform. And as he does that, he's also trying to kind of find any connections, solve any mysteries, and develop a protocol for what happens when you encounter something that is paranormal, right? Like, we've all heard stories about UFOs. We've always heard stories of Bigfoot, or women in white or black or whatever. And the question then is like, what am I supposed to do when I encounter a crazy situation like that? We have a protocol for if you run across a bear in the woods, you get loud and you spray them with bear spray, right? But what happens if you see like dark-eyed children? How do you respond to them, right? And so that's part of the narrative of the podcast that Reed is trying to discover there. So as he narrates and reads these stories that people send in, he is looking for any connections, and there also might be a bigger narrative at play. It was the Blacklight Protocol was an idea that I had because I've always had such a fascination with paranormal podcasts. I love listening to things like The Confessionals. I love listening to things like Supernatural with Ashley Flowers. Really great stuff, and it's so interesting to hear people's accounts of these weird and crazy things. And I always wondered if there was a way for me to tell a story in this space. And one of the things about it that has been a learning experience for me is that when you write for a podcast, it sometimes comes out very differently in tone and in style than when you write it for a book, if that makes sense. So when Nick and I first started working on this project, I sent him a couple of episodes, and he would read them out, and it just didn't feel the same. And I think that's because I was writing for a book and not for an audio delivered podcast, right? And so it has a different tone, a different style, and a different feel to it. And so it's not going to be as polished, right? You want the words to sometimes stutter or come together, or because this is a person kind of relaying these events, right? As compared to a book that's supposed to be a little bit more polished, right? So that was one really interesting thing. But part of the reason that it has really been good for me about this, is that when it comes to something like The Broken World, right, it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of money to put something like that together. And while it is an absolute privilege to spend that time and money and effort in putting a book that I am proud of out there, I recognize that I'm not super rich. I don't have all the money for editing right now, and honestly, book 2 would be out and available. It's kind of ready to go. I just don't have all the money to do some of the editing processes there yet. And so it might be a little bit of time, and I hate to make people wait for the next part of the story, but I also want to keep writing and improve my craft and keep working. And so this podcast is kind of a way for me to do that. So as far as The Broken World goes, I have book 1 done. It's published and available. Check it out on Amazon. Book 2 has been written, and it's been rewritten like 16 times. And it's kind of ready to go. It just needs to go through like some actual official edits. And then it can be published. I've got the cover ready. I've got everything ready for it. Just, time and money in that regard, right? So while I'm kind of waiting for that, I've had all these other ideas and all these little things that I kind of want to get out of my system between books, and so this Blacklight Protocol project has been absolutely amazing for that. So we've currently written 10 episodes. 7 of them are currently released, and I think it gets better and better each time, right? Because we're learning, not just as writers, but also as narrators and voice actors, I guess you might say. And so all of that to me has been a really cool experience, and I'm excited to share that with you. And I do hope that you go check it out. You can just type in Blacklight Protocol on YouTube or Spotify or Apple iTunes, and you'll be able to find it there. And part of the cool thing about it, this particular story, is we recognize that we're amateurs at a lot of things, right? Like I'm not the best narrator in the world, as is clearly evidenced by all of my YouTube videos thus far. So we have a lot to learn, but we want to make that learning, we want to make that growth, that gradually getting better. We also want to tie that into the story as well. And so not only is there a fictional supernatural narrative, but there's like a meta narrative there as well, we're just kind of putting in there. But we've had a lot of fun with it. I've had a lot of fun with it. I'm sure Nick's just tired of my crap, but Nick has been a good friend for a long time. There's not a story or book that I have written that he has not read and reviewed and helped me out with in some regards. So to be able to have this collaborative process with him has been really cool. But to tell you a little bit about this particular character, her name is Tegan Lewis, and so she is a character in the story that you haven't met yet, but you will here in a couple of weeks. And I just had to draw her character because it was just so cool what we were able to do with her. I'm just amazed that the episode came out the way that it did. I'm super excited to share it. And of course, girls get more views anyhow, so there's that too, right? But no, I had a lot of fun. This was a good challenge for me, and not just trying to draw a character, but a very specific type of character. And I think when you listen to her audio, you'll know exactly what I mean. So that is coming. I'm very excited about that. Very excited about the Blacklight Protocol. And I do hope that you guys give it a chance, check it out, listen to it, and let me know what you think. We are so open to any kind of feedback, and I know that I'm always looking to do better. And so anything you can help us out with, we are just so excited by. So that's the picture. I thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later.